Okay, so this is the fourth time I've started this video. We're going to see if Satan is going to stop interfering with me finishing this video. But I went to go see Get On Up, Get Up, Get On Up, Get on the scene like a sex machine. Get on up, get up. But anyway, and it was excellent. Let me say that right off the top. It was excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely want to go see it again in the theater. I don't say that often about too many movies, but I loved it. Um, I'm not so sure that it touched on all of the subject matters I would have liked to have heard. I don't think I'm an authority on James Brown, but I do know a little bit more um, than maybe not average, but I don't think I know more than the average Joe, but I do know a few facts. Like I think he had like 9 kids. And he was with a lot. He was a womanizer. He was actually an abuser. And although he slapped the bejesus out of Jill Scott in this movie, that wasn't the only chick he hit. And I'm telling y'all, he slapped her. He slapped her to the window, to the wall, to her face ran down that wall. Shoot, to all these bitches fall. But anyway. Um, yeah, I didn't like her in this movie though. She was just Jill Scott in a wig to me. No shade, but for real, nah, wasn't really feeling Jill Scott in this movie. She got a few free kisses off of Chad though, but you know, and I think that his death was a scene. Like I would have liked to see a little bit more about how that all, because I think his body like laid up in the morgue for a month and 3 days. Um, I would have loved to have seen them incorporate Prince and Michael Jackson, young Prince and young Michael Jackson, into this movie somehow because, you know, everybody in the globe idolizes Michael Jackson, dead or alive, young or old, in his lifetime or beyond or past his lifetime. People love Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson loved James Brown. That was his idol. I would have loved to have seen, that incorporated somehow, or the story that Prince was as a little kid was at a James Brown concert and he was dancing and James said, "Get little brother some, let him come up and give little brother some," and he got there and danced and wore little James out, and they didn't do that, because James Brown really is the genesis for all the things that we apparently love off of Prince and Michael Jackson and quite a few other folks. So it would have been nice to have seen that, but that didn't take place. I would have wanted to see the 9 kids that were created. Like, how did the hell did that happen? When did it happen? How did it happen? I just wanted to see a little bit, like he did at Tammy Terrell, and he smacked the smack out of her. He smacked the eyeballs off of her. So who were the celebrities? Who were the white women? He loved white women and pork. I want to know about it. But yeah. So uh, here's the other thing. I never really looked at James Brown before. Like probably because James Brown was 85 and a half when I was born. So I didn't really look at him. But that young James Brown, looking at him tonight and looking at Chadwick playing James Brown, yeah, like James could get it a little bit. And although, I went to Howard with Chad and we were in fine arts at the same time. And Chad, I know Chad. I don't know if I know Chadwick, but I do know Chad. No shade, no shade, but I do know Chad. And Chad had a very slow, methodical way of moving. He had a country swag about him. He was, just cool. He's just a cool dude. Very sweet, very laid back, just a good guy. And but I never really looked at Chad. And Chad's a handsome dude, but I just didn't look at him like that. But I was looking at you tonight, Chad. Yes, indeed. With all your taco meat on your chest and your chest all barely and sweaty and glistening all in the lights and everything. My lamb. Ooh, and doing that little dancing and thing. Chad, you really, let me just say this too. Chad played the smack out of James Brown. He had those dance moves down. He had that voice down. Like the speaking James Brown, that shit was scary. For real, seriously. Like he scared me with that. And towards the end of the movie, as the older James Brown, that was scary. You really, really, really look like James Brown. That was frightening. So he really embodied that character. That Howard, I ain't got too much to say about Howard, but you know, when you see it in fine form like that, it just brings back the pride a little bit. But this movie is definitely something I recommend. I'm going to go see it again in the theater, which is not something I often do. I loved it. I really did. I will purchase it when it comes out. I think Chad played the hell out of James Brown. I guess we saw as much as we possibly could. It is 2.5 hours, so it's almost a Titanic. But yeah, go see that movie. Support that movie.